Hello students, in this lecture we will continue with our first chapter of class 11 chemistry, that is some basic concepts of chemistry. Last time we have covered two laws, that is law of conservation of mass and second is the law of constant proportion. This time we have to continue with the third one, that is the law of multiple proportion given by John Dalton. It states when two elements combine with each other to form two or more than two compounds, the mass of one of the elements which combine with the fixed mass of the other bear a simple whole number ratio to one another. Now to understand this law, we'll divide the entire definition. Here they are saying when two elements combine with each other, we'll take carbon and we will take oxygen. When carbon and oxygen combine together, they'll form two or more than two compounds. Let us take two compounds as carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. Now the mass of one of the element that combine with fixed mass of the other. Let us write down the masses first. Here the mass of carbon is 12. Here also mass of carbon is 12. Mass of oxygen in the first case is 16, while in the other it is 32. Right? Now they are saying the mass of one of the element which combined with a fixed mass. Here we have taken this to be fixed, carbon 12 here and carbon 12 here, that is fixed. What is not fixed is the oxygen, and we have to take the ratios of the one which is not fixed. So oxygen in the first case divided by the oxygen in the second case. It is 16 ratio 32, and we will get the ratios to be 1 ratio 2. 16 one times and this is 2 times. That is what our definition, that bears a simple whole number ratio. Which bears a simple whole number ratio? The one which is not fixed. That is, here we have oxygen. Here the mass of oxygen is not fixed, while that of the carbon, that is fixed. Right? To understand the concept again in a better way, we will take some new example. We will take the example of copper and oxygen. The two compounds with copper and oxygen is copper Cu2O and CuO. We have to write down the masses now. The mass of copper in the first case is 63.5 multiplied by 2, because here we have total 2 copper, and that of oxygen, that is 16. In the second case, the mass of copper is 63.5 and that of oxygen is 16. Now you can clearly see the mass of oxygen in the both cases, that is 16 and 16, and which is fixed. We have to write down the copper in the first case and the copper in the second case. We have to write down their ratios. In the first case it is 63.5 multiplied by 2. In the second case it is 63.5. You can clearly see this is going to be cancelled. The ratio will become 2 ratio 1, and that is what a simple whole number ratio. Again, there are multiple questions you can get in your exam. One such question here we have is, carbon and oxygen are known to form two compounds. The carbon content in one of these is 42.9%, while in the other it is 27.3%. Show that this data is in agreement with the law of multiple proportion. So here we have carbon and oxygen in the first case. Let me write. Here we have our first case. The mass of carbon is 42.9 percentage, and that of oxygen here is, it is 100 minus 42.9 percentage, and that is equals to 57.1. While let us take the next case, second case. The mass of carbon given to us is 27.3%, and that of oxygen is again 100 minus 27.3 percentage. We will get it is equals to 72.7 percentage. Now nothing is fixed here. We can clearly see the carbon mass is 42.9 percentage and 27.3 percentage, while that of oxygen is also 57.1 and 72.7 percentage. We are not able to find anything common. So to make this law and to prove this law, we have to fix anything. Let us fix carbon. Let us fix the carbon part, that is 1% only. So what about the oxygen now? The oxygen in the first case is equals to 57.1 divided by 42.9. And what about the oxygen in the next part? Second part, it is 72.7 divided by 27.3 percentage. Now, what we have done, as I repeated the same thing, we have to fix the mass of carbon. We have fixed the mass of carbon to be 1%, and in this case, we can find the percentage of oxygen now. Next part is to get it simplified. So do not write it anywhere in your answer sheet, but simplified it. Let us take it to be 57, making it round off, and 42.99 will become 43. And on solving this, we will get something around 1.325, almost and almost 1.33. Right? Next case 72.7. Again, do not write it somewhere in your answer sheet. It is just to make your calculation easy. We'll get a rough estimate of it. 72.7. We'll take it to be 73. Next is 27.3. We'll rough estimate to 27. Almost and almost on solving, we will get 2.7. So, making the ratio of oxygen in first case to the oxygen in the second case, we will get 1.33 ratio 2.7. And just by looking at the ratios, we can clearly see it goes 1 times and almost 2 times. Ratio will become 1 ratio 2. And this is in agreement with the law of multiple proportion. The next question is, sulfur and oxygen are not known to form two compounds. The sulfur in one of them is 50%, while in the other it is 40%. Show that this data is in agreement with the law of multiple proportion. Here we have first case, sulfur mass given to us as 50%, while that of the oxygen given to us is, it is not given, but 50% if it is sulfur, oxygen automatically becomes 50%. In the second case, sulfur given to us is 40%, oxygen automatically turns to be 60%. Again, here nothing is fixed. We have to make it fixed now. So let us make sulfur to be fixed. Let us take sulfur part equals to 1 part. So oxygen in first case it is equals to 50 divided by 50, while oxygen in the second case it is equals to 60 divided by 40. Cancelling it up, we'll get 1 ratio 1. Here also we will get 3 ratio 2. What is our next part is to make the simple whole number ratio as per our demand. We will take the ratio of oxygen 1 to oxygen 2. What is the part of oxygen here we have is 1 ratio 1, and that of oxygen we have is 3 ratio 2. Making 2 here on the top and 3 here, we'll get the ratio to be 2 ratio 3. And hence this is in agreement with the law of multiple proportion. In this way, we can solve multiple questions. If you'll get it in your exam, directly make one of the part of two element fixed. Other part, whatever is left with you, make a ratio of it, and it will always come in the form of simple whole number ratio. If it is following it up, definitely it is following the law of multiple proportion. Otherwise, it is not. So this is all about in today's lecture. In the next lecture, we will follow up with the fourth law, that is the law of reciprocal proportion. Till then, take care of yourself and keep practicing. Thank you, everyone.